Alright, time for the second battle. This is Ulter fighting against the Ebdanians, which is basically the Irish. Let's see, there's a couple of battles here. Come on, come on. Yeah, Celtic town. This. So while I'm fighting down in Italy to secure my new kingdom, Ulter's fighting up in the British Isles to establish dominance over them, and this is him attacking the town of the Ebdanians. He had a couple of fights back and forth with them, but he managed to capture or fight one of their armies within a settlement, and he has two full stack armies attacking. There's also a garrison army though, and a garrison fleet, so it's a somewhat equal battle, but yeah, it's gonna be a good one. So I'm also testing out the new headset, and I'm doing it in kind of the lazy way because I'm not doing any kind of forward other than this, so well, you'll just have to live with it. Yes, yes, the enemy has reinforcements. Now then, so we're watching from the Ebdanians' point of view. I have almost only light infantry, a little bit of cavalry. So there's the yes, 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 we are heavily outnumbered. There is the garrison army, some medium melee infantry, Celtic warband, and some Celtic. Notice that there's an unusual amount of women fighting here in the Celtic war, and those curls, yeah, I think they went a little bit overboard with them, but sure. It's basically like 50-50 men and women fighting on both sides of this battle. Anyway, here's like one of the two cavalry units I have, some mounted spear raiders. On the other side, here to the right, are the mercenary Nordic mounted raiders. Both of them light melee cavalry. Now the real army is landing, and it has a mix of javelin men and archers. Many of these kind of light spearmen. Celtic levy is really light. Again, lots of women in the ranks. And out here there's some slightly more durable units. The Celtic war with the general of the Ebdanians himself there with the square shield and the red hair. So anyway, while they position themselves, let's take a look at Ulter's. So Ulter has chosen to deploy out here a little bit away from the village so that he could deploy both of his armies together. Smart move. One of the armies, the second one, is tired from forced marching, but he does have the numbers, so most likely this will not be as you can see, there's about 4,000 Ebdanians and he has 6,000. Featuring lots of ranged units, especially he has lots of javelin men, these skirmishers. Featuring the classic Celtic spiky hair. If you've been playing Rome, you know what that's like. Lots of archers as well, truly in the Caledonian style. Celtic spears and Celtic woodrunners, which is some real good infantry. Some cheap early infantry. Good mainstay infantry, who has the shield wall ability, by the way. Quite useful. There's also a few other things, like some mercenaries, Nordic Axe warband here, fearsome troops, and who do also course. So they'll be very useful. And we have some mercenary Celtic Angspan, also some better melee infantry. Over here is the general, or the commanding general, perhaps I should. I think it's this guy with the slightly smaller shield, and again, no help. Just like in the movies, it's all about the plot armor. What else? A little bit of cavalry, yeah, that's about it. And some hounds, if I forgot to mention that. Over here is another general, seemingly forgotten by Ulter. There, he actually wears a helmet. Smart man. Surely the brightest of the Celtic generals. So, Okay. Now, this is just to give you an overview. So, Ulter is moving his arm. I am moving 2 units of spearmen out here on the right, towards the forest. I have significantly fewer ranged than Ulter, and I don't really have a chance at trying to skirmish with them. So, I'm kind of looking for opportunities to hit those range. So that's why I'm moving some spearmen. They are not at all ideal for the job. I'm also moving both of my cavalry out here on this. I'm kind of hoping while Ulter's busy deploying his army, I can kind of sneak the cavalry unit in through it. At the same time, last of my units are landing and getting deployed. So let's look. Let's look at my defense. So I put melee troops in front. Some of the cheaper ones. This is the garrison, in order to soak up the ammunition of the so Celtic levy. They're going to be loose for me. There's loads of places where Ulter can come from. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places he can get in from. So it's more or less impossible. So I've kind of focused my defense around here and here for the center, and then over here. So this unit covers more or less these 2 parts, and these 2 units cover 2 parts. And then I've left no defenses. But that's because the barricade is here. Units placed on barricades can deal a tremendous amount of damage in a very short amount of time. I want to make it look like this should be an easy target, so he moves troops in through this. And then I'll hit him hard with ranged units, and perhaps these spear units can come from the side as well. I can kind of cut down part of his. But most of my men are standing in reserve out here in the center. So, since I have fewer missile units, no walls to speak of, and fewer cavalry, or the same amount of cavalry, my options are very limited. So I'm being quite passive in this battle. Anyway, I think that's it for the deployment, so I'm just gonna fast forward, zoom out while we're taking a look. The good thing about this village is it's actually pretty tower heavy, and there's a total of 5 towers where usually there's 3 or 4. But that's not really a big advantage when you have truly large armies, because 1 more tower really doesn't make that big of a... and as you'll notice soon, Ulter can pretty easily simply shoot them down with fire. And, you know, it kind of destroys the advantage of that tower. I'd really much rather have some real war.
Is burning.
Oh yeah, I remember this happening. I have no idea how or why the narrator decided that somehow something was burning. I have a total of 9% damage, but I think that may have been there from the start. Not quite sure. A few buildings do look a little bit damaged, but yeah. Anyway, so out here on the flank I'm moving some cavalry and some spearmen, hoping that they will stay mostly hidden. However, Ulter notices and moves some cavalry ready to intercept. His cavalry is better than mine, so I can't really win in a frontal engage. Now he's moving up his archers, and I'm putting some Celtic levy in loose formation in the hopes that he'll waste arrows. He does not, and instead aims for the tower. So the watchtowers are quickly taking significant amount of damage. Now if I had cavalry out here, I could actually have some use, but I think Ulter's suspecting that, so he's moving some spearmen over here, and I don't think I would have gotten a lot of. Now it's not terribly exciting to watch towers get burned down, so I'll fast forward for a bit.
nothing remains of that tower now.
That was the first tower. The second one goes down. Looks like he also set some fire to the actual town itself. Whether by accident or by intent, I don't know. Okay, so he's moving up some infantry and some skirmishers. He wants to wipe out this Celtic levy with javelin. Makes sense. And there's free reign for his skirmishers. Over here, infantry is moving up. Celtic wood runners, 2 units of them. And here come some javelins. And the Celtic levy are starting to fall to pieces. You think when you stood in the front ranks that you'd take your shield down in front of you, but no, they decide to put it over their heads and then get shot in the stomach. Yeah, this Celtic levy is really taking some casualties. And the fire arrows are also demoralized, and the Celtic levy is not exactly steadfast unit, so they decide to fall back.
They've thrown down their weapons and are fleeing.
Still with 80 men remaining. So that's going down pretty steady. More Celtic levy moving up, ready to get shot at. Over here it's a little bit more of the same. Although I'm moving some cavalry in this, while another cavalry unit is moving around the flank over here. Anyway, I'm trying to do something about all this ranging, but as I move in, Ulter has 2 cavalry units ready. I decide to retreat and simply let the Celtic levy
ambushing us.
Surprising for me, Ulter decides to move some infantry up and charge. The first melee fighting begins. And this is Celts on both sides, so they look incredibly sick. Celtic levy runs away pretty quick. Some marauders are sent up to kind of stop the enemy advance. And I can finally start firing back a little bit. Some of my archers up here on the barricade are loosening their arrows. Oh, over here in the center, I forgot to show you. Enemy has moved in with loads of troops. And out here on the right, also charges in as well. The last second I managed to get into close combat. And then I moved some skirmishers up to help. Here in the center the fighting is at its thickest.
The enemy has discovered our hidden troops.
More units have been moved. Going to attack the skirmishers.
Settlement stands, but much has been destroyed.
The settlement has suffered significant damage, so it does reduce the morale, melee attack and melee defense of the defenders, not by a lot. Over here the skirmishers are starting to... Meantime I'm gonna finally attack with some cavalry. So the attack has really begun, and Ulter's moving some units here around the left side, but not. Most of the attack is focused around the side.
An entire unit
And then
has
a little bit
perished.
around the right as well.
Enemy units units have rallied and returned to them. The men have thrown down their weapons and are fleeing.
Over here, skirmishers have been chased in and are now being shot. I'm trying to surround them, but Ulter's really breaking through here on them. I engaged one of his cavalry units with a little bit, but he sends in reinforcements. Both sides are losing quite a few. Ulter's pushing hard down here in the center, and I need to assign basically all my units to out here on the right. My other cavalry unit sees their chance and charge through a hail of fire arrows. On the other side, skirmishers are approaching to help. The defenders are being stretched thin. Almost all defending units are being used right now, some way or another. This unit of archers is getting loads of kills. Some of them friendly as well, by the way. A little breath for the defenders as they chase away the attackers out here on the left a little. Still, Ulter's pushing hard, especially through the center.
The men are broken and running for their lives.
Surprisingly, the brigands beat the Celtic spears in melee somehow.
Damn you!
I pulled back the 2 units out from the far left because I realized I'm really running out of units and I need to put them.
Enemy units have returned.
Now I'm also sending in the general in order to hold this left side while the archers on the barricade can still get more kills. But overall, though, it's looking really bleak. I have 1,000 units left and Ulter has more than a 3.5.
Broken and are fleeing.
The general has really gone into the fight now. In fact, if you can see him right there, just took a javelin to the shoulder. Didn't really seem to notice it. Arrows are raining down.
Men are running, cowards!
This is the warband, the best the Celts have here, or the Ebdanians. Blood's about to drip down from the barrack as the archers keep peppering the enemy. archers break off.
Our men return to the fight!
And with that, the rest of the Ebdanian army falls, including the general here.
Enemy forces have struck our general down!
It was the mercenaries at the end that killed off the Irish.
Nothing remains of this unit now!
And that's it.
We are lost! Lost!
Ulter still has half of his army, and he's killed off one full stack army and taking a city. It's been quite the big victory for what the main army got of killed. You can especially notice that there's lots of Celtic. They barely got anything at all. Some of them, granted, were, you know, cannon fodder, but they were not very effective. The ranged units actually did most of the damage, especially one archer unit there with 268 kills. You can't see the whole of Ulter's army, of course. You can at least see half of it. And notice also on his side, lots of kills are from the brigands with 250, 241, and 220. Loads of kills. But anyway, with this victory, Ulter is able to basically really dominate the British, because this victory leads him to defeating the Ebdanians. It doesn't happen immediately, but a couple of turns later, he gets them wiped, and they never really managed to recover from this defeat to threaten him like before. And after that, there's only 3 factions remaining on the British Isles, and that's Ulter with the Caledonians. Then it's the Picts to the north, which is Ulter's ally, and then to the south is the Saxons, which is the next target of Ulter's.